Hi Yogi and welcome to your practice. My name is Alan. This is Yin Yoga. For today's flow, it's all about deep stretch and you feel the whole sensation on the body. So this would include your shoulders, your chest, your back, your hips, your legs, your ankles, and your knees. So when you're ready, let's begin with crossing our legs. So go ahead. First up is to pull your right heel close to your groin with your left leg in front, right? So when you're ready, begin to place your hands on your lap and just allow your shoulders to drop as well as your elbows. As we begin your Yin Yoga, allow yourself to notice your body, your mind, your spirit. Slowly come back to center. Let's switch legs. Now this time, placing your right leg in front, your left heel closer to your groin. Sit again on your Sukhasana and placing your hands again on your lap. Stay for the next few minutes. As we try to settle in and stay grounded, allow yourself to have that mindset of good stretch for today. Slowly come back to center, inhale and then exhale. What we're gonna do now is for the next few minutes, we will have a combination of a good stretch from our lower limbs all the way up to our upper limbs. So that would include your entire body. And if you have your yoga blocks, maybe a pillow or a blanket, you may need them to assist you in assessing or accessing rather those poses that might um, have a little trouble or may not be accessible at this point. If in case that there is already pins and needles while we do and stay in a pose, then dial it back so that you'll be able to sustain that pose. In Yin Yoga, while it is good to stay in poses for a long time, it doesn't mean that if there is pain lingering, you need to maintain it. So allow your body to know where your limits are, and if you there's a need to step back, then do so. Allow your body to um, allow yourself to identify the limits, and as well to know and identify what isn't useful for today's flow, right? So go ahead. Let's start by stacking the knees on top of each other. First up, we'll have our right knee under our left. And what you will do, notice that my knees are not really stacked on top of each other, but it's close to stacked. So what is happening is I'm while this is stacked, my hip bones, my left and the right hip bone will stay on the ground. While some may see that this might be stacked, but one hip is hanging, please try to be square. And when it means, what squaring means is that both sides of the hips are staying on the mat. So go ahead, try to secure your feet with placing your hands on top of your ankles. And at this point, you can feel the stretch of your outer thighs, as well as the squeezing and the compression of your inner thighs. When you're ready, we will walk forward until you can drop your forehead, maybe your chin, on the top knee. Let your hands fall on the ground and your forehead, maybe your chin, maybe your nose, on the top knee. You're gonna feel a lot of sensation coming from the top leg as we try to compress with your upper body. May even walk further until you can drop your chin, your forehead, or your nose. Slowly inhale, you're gonna walk your hands back to the center. Now we're gonna spread our legs, one leg at a time, and then walk forward with your hands. So you may stay on your fingertips, on your spider fingers. So let me just move back so you can see my hands. Yeah. Because after 2 to 3 minutes, we will switch legs. We're going to cross our legs again. And this time with our right knee on top. So you can feel from this spreading of your legs, your hips is kind of tilted outwards. Or if it isn't moving, imagine that you're pulling your butt cheeks outwards towards the back, all right? And if in any case, you may assist it with your heels. For some of you, you might even find yourselves dropping your elbows on the floor. That's just fine. But at this point, you can feel that sensation of the lengthening of your inner thighs, as well as the lengthening of the outer thighs. One last breath here. Slowly inhale, look forward as you walk your hands back to the center. Assist with your hands as you slowly bend your knees, one knee at a time. And this time, I'm gonna place my left knee under my right knee. So notice that maybe, just maybe, one side is more accessible than the other. So maybe you're trying to pull the knees together and then pulling your feet to the back, to the sides of your thighs. But make sure that both sit bones keep staying on the ground. When you're ready, begin to place your hands outside or in front. As you walk further away from the center, you're gonna drop your chin, your knee, your forehead down on the top knee, that would be your right, and allow your sit bones to stay on the floor or stay on the ground. If it is hanging, then maybe, just maybe, make sure that the top foot, that would be your right, remains on the floor. So you can feel the pressure within and outwards. Yes? One last breath. Slowly inhale, look forward. Walk your hands back to center. We're gonna spread our legs one leg at a time. Assist with your hands as we do again. For those who are familiar with their workouts, this may be called the pancake stretch. For those of you who are aware of their yin yoga, this is our dragonfly stretch or our dragonfly pose. So go ahead, you may assist with scooping one butt cheek at a time as you fall forward. And you will notice the difference for each time that we keep staying on the ground or we keep staying on one pose, that the muscles or the ligaments from the bones or from the joints are suddenly getting that fresh tug. Yeah? You can feel it inwards. You're gonna stay here for 1 or 2 minutes. And try to notice. You may around your back if this would be your first time to do this. If you've been practicing yoga, try to lead your belly and your chest forward instead of just dropping your elbows and your shoulders to the front. Slowly inhale, look forward, walk your hands back to center. This time, as we bend our knees, we'll have our feet together. And try to notice, you might hear some clicks, some cracks around the hip joints, around your spine, and that's normal. Unless, of course, the cracking sensation would follow a pain, then please step back and kindly check with your physician, with your doctor, for any chronic pain around your ligament, maybe around your muscle, around your bones. Try to double check yourself as well. With your heels together and your knees down on the ground, both sit bones would stay on the floor. Allow yourself to stay here in the meantime with your hands around your ankles. If at times for other practitioners, their knees are here, so maybe lifted, and that is because of the color of your hip bone. If you have narrow hips, then probably this might be the case. If you have one, then go ahead, please slide a towel, a blanket, or a pillow, maybe the blocks under your knees to help you get this ample support. For others with a very wide neck or color of the hips, of the hip joint, then with your hands, all right, for whether you're in your narrow hip or you have your wider hips, then go ahead placing your hands right on top, outside of your feet. Begin to walk forward until you can drop your elbows on the ground. Again, if it feels already that tension on your quads or the top side of your thighs, and then there's compression against the outer thighs versus your hips, then maybe you need to step back with your hands right by your feet, or maybe you may prop blocks under your forearms, your elbows. Now notice that you're leading your sternum or your breastplate is being pulled forward, that is the time you may pull your head down closer to your feet. Maybe just let it hang at first. And if it feels a little bit more comfortable, then you may drop your head on top of your feet and stay. Slowly inhale, look forward, begin to walk your hands back to center. We're gonna do next the half shoelace pose. So what we will do first, we'll pull our right heel closer to our groin, and then we're gonna extend our left leg to the side. Now from here, you're gonna feel a lot of stretch, not just on your lower limbs, but as well as your upper body. On your next inhale, you're gonna slide your hands, your left hand closer to your left big toe. You may place your elbow in front of your knee or on top of it. Just allowing that stretch coming from your right waist or your right hip bone all the way up to your right rib cage. As we keep on pulling our elbow down on your knee on the left side, maybe pull it even lower to the ground, you can feel that stretch on this side. Yeah, so you can also feel that expansion as you keep opening or pulling your chest forward and then up. Yeah, and then maybe, just maybe, you may extend your right leg or right arm rather as you try to reach for your opposite toes. If this isn't the case, maybe point your fingers all the way to the left side and stay. Make sure that both hip bones would stay on the ground. You can feel even the muscles in between your ribs stretching and expanding. Slowly inhale, you're gonna lift and gently and slowly both arms and try to take a breather here as we switch our legs. So go ahead, we're gonna extend our right leg to the side, pull your left heel to your groin. When you're ready, bend all the way to the right side. You may grab your right big toe or grab the outside blade of your right foot. Begin to place your right elbow on top of your right knee or maybe inside your right knee, whichever comes first, or whichever is more accessible for you at this point. Now, try to really squeeze your right waist and really stretch. Feel that expansion of the waist from your left side all the way to your left armpit. When you're ready, begin to extend your left arm upwards. Stay here with your left fingertips pointing to the right side, or maybe, just maybe, you may reach for your opposite toes and stay here for a while. Keep pulling your chest forward, maybe facing the camera or facing your phone, and allow yourself to stay here. Slowly inhale, you're gonna lift your arms up, back to center, and we're gonna ready ourselves as we try to melt all the way to the ground. So go ahead. First off, you're gonna grab both blocks. The first block closest to you will be parallel to the top block. So imagine you're forming an equal sign. And then we're gonna sit with our hips right in front. On your next inhale, you're gonna bend your knees and plant your heels on the floor as you slowly drop your chest or your back. And when you're ready, begin to extend your legs, one leg at a time, followed by your arms. And this will get a deep push from the back to help your chest expand, to let your shoulder blades release, to let the fronts and the tops of your shoulders expand. Let your palms face the ceiling, the sky, or maybe turn your palms downwards, whichever feels good. Slowly inhale, you're gonna bend one knee at a time, planting your feet on the floor, rolling onto one side. We're gonna switch and turn your block closest to you on their long side. So it would be parallel to the long side of the mat. When you're ready, we're gonna come back to our hips in front, knees bent, feet on the floor. You're gonna feel that push from the mid back all the way to the upper back as you're gonna drop your head, turning your palms down or facing upwards, whichever feels good. And then extending one leg at a time, staying here. Slowly come back to center. Begin to open your eyes. Turn your palms down if they aren't. Then you're gonna roll yourself to one side, letting go of your back against the block. Begin to support yourself. Let's sit on your Sukhasana easy seated pose, crossing one leg at a time. You're gonna place your hands together. Thank you so much for joining me into this deep stretch yin yoga flow. I hope to see you again next time.